Kenda ro ni bibu kita ka sona kalalai. Daro ni bibu ke gina. Menta ka ko ni sambi te kiri tunga. Ko rene tambawane. Bale tuna kena wali e tuna ka kenda rinda kapa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And I believe for those of us who go to church, there's a lot of problems out there, the awareness and everything. But one thing that I see for us church people, I go to church, I belong to a church. Most of the times, these very people, they come up from prison or, they did something wrong. And it's like they carry a stigma with them. And we, the church people, when they come, we always have the kind of looks in our eyes that says, you don't belong here. We as a community, it's not that we agree with the things that they do, but we should be able to open our arms to provide that help. And I see not only the church that I belong to, there's a lot of churches that do the same thing. That when they come, they feel like an outsider. I remember one of the prisoner who stood, he's actually our senior pastor. And I don't know whether you remember, he stood up in the market in the Eastern Division. And one thing really struck me when he said, to the most when I stay out of prison is to 1 month. I will look for something else to do to take me back. And when I listened to that, I said, like it sounds so wrong. And his reason was he couldn't fit into the community. He comes to his village, they like he said, just a look on their face. I walk into the church, it's just a look on their faces. And the only place that he fits in, it's in prison. So some of these people that are in prison, they don't choose to be there, but they have no other choice. And we are trying to create as much awareness as we can, but we should be receptive. We can be so full of words, but the actions are not there. And we need to be the doers of that word. And I belong to this church. It's called the New Methodist. And for those of you that comes to the same church as we do, that's the thing that I'm always be a strong advocate when it comes to that. No matter how bad things may be or how serious the sins that they've committed, you cannot close the door of that church to that person. Just as you qualify to go in and worship God, so is that person, no matter how deadly their sins are. So when we talk about these things, when that happens in your neighborhood or when that happens in your community, be the first person to say, hey, come to church. And when they do, try and make them feel at home. And make them feel at home. So he always come out and go in, and every month he tries as much. For years he was doing that. To the stage, he shared in his testimony that when he was in prison, his wife got involved. She had an extramarital affair and moved across and left the children and stayed with this man. When he came home, he couldn't find his wife. A wife is a wife, for years in and out. He had his own reasons, but it was not practical for her, looking after her own children. So when he came, he called the sister and told the sister that the children will be coming to her. He actually filed the knife. This is what he shared in his testimony. And I know you're listening to us, senior pastor all the way from Burbasanga zone. He filed the knife, make it so sharp, he planned in his heart to go and kill his wife. Having that sharp knife, everything ready. On that evening, there was a request from the church that they want to do evangelism. They couldn't get any electricity. Their house is the only house that is close to the ground. Because of that, he stayed back. He said yes to the electricity. Children have gone to the sister ready. He was ready to go and kill the wife. He stayed in that house for that evangelism to go. And after that evangelism, he was going to go and do what he planned to do. That evangelism changed his life. That evangelism made him give his life. Not only he gave his electricity, that sitting of that electricity saved his life. He threw away the knife. He went back and brought his children. 2 days later, the wife came home. Now he's the senior pastor of one of our zone. And I just want to share it here. There are lives, more lives like that. It's not that we agree with the things that they do. We hate the sin, we love the sinner. Try and embrace, because as much as you can make them fit in, then they know that they are loved. Most of these children that are doing these things, they come from broken homes. Most of these, they are results of what they go through within their life. So they try and look for attention elsewhere. The only thing they hear are bad words from their parents. The only thing that they hear that they're good for nothing. The only words that they hear are that they're always problematic. And I know it's true because you continue to see the same problem in your eyes all the time and you continue to say the same things all the time. But when you change those words, it's amazing the impact it can have on your children's lives. So wherever you may be listening in, there are a lot of lives out there. And also, since we're talking about the family, maybe it's a good time as well for you to look around you and embrace your family. Your children, your wife, your husband, your grandchildren. A lot of times we are so busy with life, so busy with work, busy with church, busy with the community, we spend less quality time with our family. And like the church I belong to, we do our leaders training every Monday, and that's one thing that I continuously remind our leaders. Have devotion, sit down, allow your children to hear your voice. Be the voice of counsel that they hear. So wherever they go, they will always, your voice will always echo at the back of their mind. It will always be forever in their ears, regardless. Even when you pass on, they will always remember those moments. And you need to create that because they are your loved ones. If something happened to them and the thing that you're doing now, meaningless, because there goes your life. And they are the very people that is so meaningful in your life, but you spend so less time with them. And also this morning, I know it's 8 o'clock out there in Fiji. Today, just a small tribute to you, to Kenny Dama. We have his funeral this morning at the Nosori Parish Catholic, and he will be buried. No ring was done, but they will have a celebratory lunch after that funeral. And to you, Selai Faye Dama, thank you. Tukini comes from a family of 3. For those of you that have been with the media, Tukini has been one of the very first icon that started off from FM 96 with Eleanor and Geringe Ritambua, the best announcers. Very unique, but lived through the years, always in the media, in the spotlight. And Gasilevo actually brought him in to look after our current affairs program. Very good. We hardly meet when he was looking after the program for the ministry. And then yet he turned around that current affairs to the Ministry of Health. And thank you for coming on board with my TV on that. And his sign-up sponsorship that we worked closely when it comes to that because he stays around in the office, does his recording, designs his studio. And for those of you in my TV, you know Tukini. And Tukini, like last night, our daughter Tiara sent a message. She said, can you write something? Please, you to write something for Tukini. And it took me a while. And I know Auntie Anna and Auntie Mbui will be testament to this. Today, we were covering books, doing our work in the hotel lobby where we're staying. We turned it around to be our office today. And as I was writing it, I couldn't stop my tears thinking of this life. Thinking of this life. A life that you can see in a glimpse, and then it's no more. Why I'm sharing this? Because it's your family out there, people that you love. You take for granted they'll be always there. And the minute you look, they may not be there. And I started off my message, to be given to the sister. Because she came to the office with Stanley. When they walked through my door, I haven't met this lady before. And Stanley just turned to me and said, this is Tukini's sister. So I look at her, and in my mind begin to raise, what happened, or where is he? Because I've never met the sister. When she sat down and I said, the resemblance of your face with Tukini is so, it's just too much. And I said, where is he? How is he? Because he comes to the office only on Wednesdays when we host our shows. She turned and she said, he passed on. That moment. And that's how I started my message. If I could ask God to replay the moments. Tukini, such a blessing to have him. He's got a personality of his own. There's never a time that you see Tukini complaining. He's always grateful. And Tukini is Tukini. My TV people know him. And every time last year, he'll be popping in, see you 5 minutes. See you 5 minutes, so okay, come. And sometimes he'll walk in with his lunch box, and I will be telling my daughter, Can you people order something for him? Where's that from? He said, it's the only thing I can eat. I said, change it. And in the midst of every meeting, every moment, he will be popping in my door. And after Christmas last year, he came back to the office. He came to me and my daughter. He said, this morning, I just want to come and tell you something. And I said, what it is? What is it? And then he said, I never knew that there are parties that you don't get drunk. I never knew that there are parties that when you bring nothing, you'll go back home with so many things. And I never knew that there are parties that you can sit there and not expected to bring anything. And he said, that's how I described the party people had last night. It was our My TV Thanksgiving dinner with all their families. We had 53 children and about 40 plus staff. And he said, I just want to come this morning to say to you two, thank you. It's the first ever party that I've been throughout my lifetime that I'm not drunk. That I came with nothing, I went home with so many things. All the other parties of my life, I came with a lot of things and money in my pocket. I go home with everything lost. So we had a good laugh about it. So I turned to him and I said, I will need you to promise me two things to be your New Year's resolution. When we come back to work on the 15th of January, I will need you to join the staff club. I will need you to save your money. Because Tukini, it's like he gets stuck, the taxi takes him, and then he's calling in the middle of the road, CEO, I can't pay my taxi. That's Tukini. And, or he's in the dentist, he'll take photos. And he'll post it to the comms to my daughter, to Tiare. And he'll say, I'm here in the dentist. I don't have enough money. And he has become a son to my heart. And this year when work started, we planned that. I said, when we meet on the 15th of January, you'll join the club to save your money, and I will need you to have a thorough checkup. He looked at me and said, I'm not sick. And I said, I don't know whether you're sick or not, but the Holy Spirit is telling me you need to go for a medical check. He looks at me and said, I'm not sick, CEO. And I said, never mind. You will go to medical check. You will not pay. I will organize. Deal? And he said, deal. So we came back to work on the 15th of January. He started off with his saving. And every time he said, Tikini, remember your medical check? I said, oh, later. Yeah, the year has just begun. I said, okay, remember, you have to go for a medical check. And when the year started, every time he's popping through my door, I see you 5 minutes. I said, Tikini, not today, because my office is always busy. And this particular, it was on a Thursday. We were flying out to Nandi last weekend on a Friday morning. That Thursday afternoon, we had a group that came in from ABC television in Australia, and we were going to the boardroom to have our meeting. Stanley just walked with those management who came in from ABC, and he was standing there and to go for that meeting. When I was coming out, he was standing there, and he kept on saying, CEO, 5 minutes. And I said, Tukini, not now, later. And I walked into that meeting. I went home. That's on Thursday. Friday morning, we flew out to Nandi. Saturday morning, we were having a family table talk just like this from Crown Plaza. And straight after the program, our team from ITV, they turned, Talangastai turned, and he said, oh, Auntie Tukini commenting on the program this morning, cheering you too from there on the Facebook. And then we had a good laugh. Sunday morning, he didn't wake up. Yeah. And Monday, the sister walked into my office. And she said, Tukini spoke so much of my TV, and I want to come here to thank you, and spoke so much of you. You're like a mother to him. And Tukini is a nomad. He lives with me most of the time, but he's always moving around. All these years of work and living, he found a home and a family in my TV. And when he passed on, only 2 places I'm coming to, it's YouTube for my TV. And Tukini also is a media protocol officer for the Archbishop in Fiji. Said after this, then I'll go to the Archbishop. Only 2 places I will go. And I want to come today just to thank you for creating that for Tukini, who will never have anything. When I wrote that message to, as a remembrance of Tukini, and I told the sister, now that you mention it, I feel so bad. The last conversation I had of Tukini was when I turned to him and I said, not now, Tukini. Later. If I have to ask God, if he can replay that moment, I will cancel that meeting. I will give him all the time. But I didn't have that opportunity. And we were going through our finances, all hands on deck. And here he was running in between us. Kula chasing him from there, said, can you come tomorrow? Various moments of financial constraints. That 15,000 invoice he was running around for when we reached New Zealand. When the pay was due, as I promised to pay the staff that we have gone on the season, that 15,000 was sitting on the account. So thank you to Kenny. And thank you, Selai, Faye, Dama, and your beautiful family out there in Navudi. And thank you so much for sharing your brother. Nearly came to know him really, really well from last year, only about 1 year of knowing your brother. And thank you for sharing him with us. It's been a blessing having him on board. Oh, we'll really, really miss him, but he will not be forgotten. And by I'm sharing this, there are lives out there that sometimes you're not giving the attention that they deserve. But when they pass on, then you remember all the things that they've done. Mm. So they can be your family right there at home with you. They can be your husband, they can be your wife. That you take for granted they are always there. But when the day and the moment happen, and you'll always remember the little things that they've done, the voice that you hear, the comfort that they become to you. And so this morning for all the My TV staff here, to define it, because he kept on denying the fact that he needs to go for medical check. And that's the very thing that took his life. So if only I had known a little bit earlier. But for those of you that are still breathing and still have your life, most of the time we say it from this family table talk, and then you may be listening and say, oh, there she goes, or there he goes. We'll always remind you, go for medical. And I know the mother because she was a flight attendant with Fiji Airways, and I just heard for the very first time, very young, to have died. And this is one thing that I kept on saying to you in the church for New Methodist, especially for the leaders training. We take for granted that when we grow old and we die. No, people are dying younger than the normal. And sometimes you say, what happened? I say, we don't know. Just had a headache, go to hospital and die. No, there's something more than that which you never know that was always there. So you will not know until you go through it. If you don't feel anything, you need to go. Because I love my family and I want them alive. Don't wait until something happens and then for you to regret the things that you cannot undo. So do something today. Look out for your family. And I always, I remember, and I know I make a mention of this too often, when Dr. Wangai Nambete came and spoke in the men's program at the Dome. Yeah. That is very unusually Itoke or unusually Fijian when he stood up, because they're both doctors. I mean, the wife is a doctor as well. I haven't met the wife, but the way he shared it that day really, was an eye-opener. He said, when you love each other and when you're really concerned about your health, you will know the in and out of your partner. You will know, like you talk about certain things like, have you gone to the toilet today? The normal of your partner. And you know you're normal. You must know each other. Have you been to the toilet today? And know when it's abnormal, when it's not happening. Because when he was sharing it, and I said, that's so un-Fijian. Like for us, it's like, okay, you don't even know yourself, And, but it really stayed with me. That stuck with me. And then he said, because we are, ignorant to the normalcy of our family, that it's easy for the NCDs, easy for all these things to come. And start to brewing in their lives inside of them without you knowing. Because you couldn't tell us what they're going through. You generalize their life. You're not specific to know, what they feel, what they haven't done, or what they used to have and now no longer, what they never used to feel before. Now you're feeling it. Like as you age, like for us, every now and then I'm telling him, man, my leg, like it's sore. You know, like before I never used to feel jet lag. I love long flights as much as possible because it's my private moment. I write, I pray, I watch, I do a lot of things. But now as you age, like if you sit for the longest time, I begin to feel pain on my leg, you know? And I begin to tell him, man, so those are the uncommon things that I never used to have, but I begin to have. So we talk about it, and he will tell me, you know, so we talk about certain things. Know your partner, know your family, know more. Don't wait until something happens and say, man, I should have known. Man, ayun sandore din ko ba tungo redang God da ka bakinin do ka. Kung ni kong gainan no mo reda nang narsal lega kina. Reda rawang God da ka bakinin do ka. Because you love your family. If you know, if something happened, you would really call out and cry out to God just to give you a day longer. Just so you can turn to your partner and tell them sorry or unspoken words, all those things. But when they're still alive, say it to them, embrace them, and know your children, like what I said, like for my grandchildren, for Lekela, she's not supposed to be eating ice cream and all those cold stuff because having a little bit of that, and then sometimes gonna lay nab. And ice cream, I'm the culprit. Sorry, Nati and Elijah. And Elijah, that father will always post in our family comes. Can you people stop giving ice cream? Indirectly, he's telling me, nobody else give ice cream to Lekela, it's Nana. And I'm always someone apologizes. I'm sorry. So I'm going to like my daddy is sleeping. Nana, ice cream, only a little bit. And sometimes we'll be standing in front of the freezer with a small tub coming out with a scoop, and the father comes in. We just look at each other. Sorry, just a little bit. And those are the things we do. And you know, when you really love your family, you will know. Their good moments, you will know their bad moments, you will know their sick moments, you will know what leads to that, you will know what kind of rest is supposed to be having. You just need to know. And most of us, we have a lot of knowledge of our work, a lot of knowledge of in other community things that we're doing, things that benefit you only in the physical essence, secular world, other people benefit off you, but you don't even know the little things of your family that benefit your family. So those are the little things that we can share with our family while they're still alive and embrace them.
One thing that, you know, it's really sad when people sleep and they don't wake up.
Yeah, man, I hate that.
And
you better not do that to me.
No, it's up to God.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if Tukini have children and a wife, and they go to sleep that night without a good conversation, you know, so it's a lesson to us, husband and wife. Eh? Imagine if happened to you. You're not in a good term and something like that happened. You will kick yourself for the rest of your life because you don't leave one another in good terms. You know, you never know. No, just going out to work, just going outside, just saying bye. I'm going. Sometimes when I'm going, and I'll come again. I'm going. Said, just go.
I'm bringing that story. This morning, we were awake until 2 o'clock in the morning, and I feel sorry for the guy down who's making lunch at the restaurant. And we turned around the little restaurant in the hotel like our kitchen. We got our plates, we cut up the bread, thank you, Lou, Auntie Lou, who brought the bread and the little chocolate fudge, thank you, Auntie Lainte Mangandao. So we cut it up, we order our latte. Kito vang taksana na bali kura baka na nito vanli ni koro nito vele ti musna kinito kabus del teveli. And so we stayed there because we were having our meeting with Auntie Anna on the training today. So we went to our room at about a little bit after 2. And when I got to the room, because that's still daytime in Fiji,
when people go to work, sometimes they go for a trip, and especially for us, it's okay. We don't show emotionally our closeness. And it's too late. It's very late. Yeah, ana kado yan. Sarto lang na labi kisinimat mali labi chota. So tutu. So sendre nga na siyang baltangon ni kanda siningaro na tu. We must always have a good term with our partner because we never know. You never know. Life is changing right now. And
Yes.
we believe we are up with our time now. But we want to encourage you. Balakan na sinduda ka ba? Yana muna nali tangi tukina. Sana tangi. Lako man doon lako na batitangi ko sabi ni Rabaki. Wala tawin doon lako batitangi. We'll talk today is different from other Saturday. Normally 1 hour and 30 minutes. Today it's 1 hour and 1 minute.
Yeah, today is 1 hour, but you will be listening to the Yahweh Brothers. They will be playing your the songs. And for those of you that want a copy of that, you can download it straight from your YouTube.
Yeah.
And also the merchandise for the Yahweh Brothers will be advertised soon. And also please subscribe and like the Yahweh Brothers. They are originally from the church, and we are trying as much faithfully that we can take them across to Australia and New Zealand for our event. And maybe one day we will be here in England. Who knows? That can happen. And they will be singing right here. And we're looking forward to that. So, and we take this time to thank you, all the viewers, for being part of this program. And live right. No one is perfect. Just try and correct the little things of your life. Take one day at a time, and take the things that you can manage. Don't try and change the one whole thing and get frustrated in the process.
Yes.
Write down your list, take the manageable things you can do for today, and take every day like a new day. And embrace every moment. If you have no money, that's fine. Look for the things that you don't need money to buy. If you don't have any food in the house, look for little things that you can cook that can just take you past that day. For us at home, we plant belly in between flower beds. So we get the belly, we do our tuna. Sometimes we run out of a coconut, that's it. It's just belly and tuna. And don't get frustrated trying to live a life or trying to satisfy a lot of people, but you're frustrated in the process. Try and enjoy life as much as possible and be content with what you have. Be happy with your family, be happy with the little things that comes by your way, and place your priority where it deserves. And the people you love, show them that you love them, tell them that you love them. Don't wait until something happens, then you show them that you love them, because they won't be able to hear you. They won't be able to see you. While they can see you, while they can hear you, scream it out and hug them and tell them that you love them to bits. And we thank you, and thank you for joining us. So if you have nothing to do, like our Sunday for the God of our Nation, you can join us on Sunday, like we always advertise for the 3 broadcasters in Fiji. For us, for the My TV, we have the 5 to 6, which is the daily campaign. If she's not coming on board for the children, you will hear Reverend The Cow, Moses The Cow, and that's from Calvary. And then you have the 8 to 9 on the Power in the Word, and then you have the 9 to 10 that we have the TBN program, the 10:30 on the God of our Nation, and straight after us is that Triple C, Reverend Orisi Wira. And it continues to go for the whole day. And same for the other 2 broadcasters, for FBC and TV, Fiji TV. So you have no excuse in hearing the Word of God. So choose any of those stations and get yourself connected in the spiritual, because if you haven't gone to church or prayed the whole week, vasiniti ko na sigatampo. Mula ko na namon dito sa tawat ken mabuki ko for the week. Don't rely on what you see or trust in the money you make. That can end today. Life can be gone tomorrow. Embrace every moment like it's your last day, and be joyful, thinking that God has blessed your life with the breath on your nostrils and with a beautiful family that you have. On that note, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you again next Saturday at 7:30 a.m. back in Viti Level.
This one is for all the reggae lovers. Yahweh Brothers on the track.
Hey
A family is an epitome of God's love towards mankind. God designed us to live in families, and the Bible reveals that family relationships are important to Him.
But as a believer, do you feel that you are still struggling?
Maybe you're still struggling with your relationship,
Struggling with your finances?
struggling at work,
With your social life?
or with your spiritual life.
We invite you to join us
On our Family Table Talk every Saturday,
at 7:30 a.m. on my TV.
or catch us on our Facebook page.